In the tantric view, nothing is separate from the sacred, including the simple act of knowing what you want. So it's no surprise that when people feel disconnected from their purpose, from their bigger purpose, they're often also disconnected from this very basic clarity. And I see it all the time in the work that I do, not just in big existential questions, but in like the tiniest, most ordinary moments of life. And over the years, what I've noticed is something really interesting, that my clients who struggle to know their purpose almost always struggle with something else, which is much more basic, and that is knowing what they actually want or need in everyday moments. So stay tuned, because in this video, what I want to do is explore how learning to recognize what you want in the small, everyday moments can actually reveal a deeper sense of purpose, something that you may have been trying to find. Hey there, yogis and yoginis. I'm Lisa Witter, and welcome to my channel, where we dive into how to live a Tantra-informed life by bridging the classical teachings of Tantra and the practices of non-dual Tantra with the realities of modern living. So if you haven't already, please do be sure to subscribe to my channel, because I post new videos regularly to help you live a life of greater freedom and fulfillment and joy. Okay, so let's unpack something that I see all the time in my work with clients, and it's this pattern that seems to show up really consistently, so it's very hard to ignore. So get this: someone comes in feeling stuck or unsure. They're in transition in their life, wanting clarity about what to do next. They want to know, what am I going to do with my life? What is my purpose now? But underneath those big questions, there's actually something more simple that hasn't been named. So that's why I often begin these types of conversations with a question like, well, when someone asks you what you want for dinner, how easily can you answer that? Or how comfortable are you saying what you'd like to do when someone asks you? And you'd probably imagine that I get puzzled looks in response to those questions, because my clients expect, oh, we're going to dive into these big spiritual teachings or existential inquiries. But here's what I have learned: that the person who struggles to know their life purpose or to know what their next big step is in life almost always has difficulty expressing what they want in just everyday moments. So this reveals something super interesting, which is that most of us search, as you probably know, we search everywhere to figure out what our purpose is. We go to books, we go to workshops and retreats, and, but we're all the while we're ignoring the daily signals that would actually lead us straight to our purpose. So it's like standing on top of a treasure, but still thinking that you need a map to find it. So I see this showing up, like I said, all the time, especially for people who are going through major life transitions. So that might be you, whether it's someone who's retiring after, decades of being in a career, or becoming an empty nester like I did several years ago, or changing professions, or maybe after ending a long-term relationship, having a divorce. And the question comes up, what's next for me? And there's often a lot of confusion around it. So to be really clear, these people that I work with are almost always very accomplished, high-performing people who successfully navigated life and all of its complexities. So why is there this sudden uncertainty when it comes to identifying their next chapter? So again, it's not what most people expect. It's not about needing more information. It's not about more options. It's not about figuring it out or even more spiritual insight. It's about this fundamental skill that I don't think many of us were really taught, which is just how to recognize and express my desires and my needs. So think about a time when someone looked to you, to make a really simple choice, something really low stakes, right? Like what to watch, where to go, what to eat, were you able to answer clearly, or did you defer even just a little? Like, did you respond with something like, I don't mind, whatever you want to do, or I'm fine with anything? I mean, I used to be that person that did that all the time. So these might seem like really small moments where you're just being flexible or generous, but when this becomes a pattern, when you consistently defer to other people's preferences and minimize your own desires, your own needs, or struggle even to identify what it is that you want, you're actually disconnecting from that very internal compass that would guide you towards your purpose. So what most people don't realize is how much clarity about purpose actually depends on the ability to recognize and stay in relationship with your desires, with what you want. Not in some grand like philosophical way, but in a very, very practical way, beginning with everyday moments. Because from the tantric view, purpose isn't something out there that you have to go find. It's actually already expressing itself through you. And if you've spent years overlooking or dismissing your own desires, your own wants, it becomes even harder to feel that deeper movement, not because it's not there, but because you've just tuned out the signals that would help you to recognize it. And from the tantric perspective, this is like more of a sacred type of listening. Your wants, your pull towards certain experiences and ways of being aren't random. They're not distractions from your path. They actually are the path itself. So they're how awareness, how consciousness is moving through your particular body, through this body mind. So the practice isn't about chasing desires or purpose. It's about learning to pay attention to the way that life is already trying to move through you. So here is a simple way to begin. It's nothing complicated. It's just a shift in awareness. So first, start noticing the moments when you defer, when you say, I don't know, whatever you want, I'm easy. Those small moments actually matter because they're the entry point, okay? And then second, what I want you to do is pause and just take a breath and ask yourself, what do I actually want right now? And if you don't know what you want, because that might happen, then ask yourself, if I did know what I wanted right now, what would it be? So this inquiry is going to help you get used to being in relationship with your desires, with your wants. And then third, when something does arise, even if it's something small, acknowledge it and validate it. You can like literally say to yourself, this desire is valid. Not because it has to be fulfilled, but because it's real, it's here. It's something that I'm experiencing. And in the tantric view, that's how consciousness, how the divine is expressing through you. So living a tantra-informed life means recognizing that your ability to know what you want in daily life is directly connected to your ability to recognize your purpose. Not because every desire is your purpose, but because they're the way purpose expresses itself moment by moment. And when you ignore or dismiss those desires, those wants, you lose access to that thread, right? But when you learn to stay in relationship with them, to listen, to validate, and to respond, you begin to feel that deeper current that moves through your life. Purpose stops being a mystery and starts becoming something that you can actually feel from the inside out. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe because I post content like this on a regular basis, and check the description below for links to stay connected or to explore different ways that you can work with me. And until next time, may you keep tuning in to what you desire moment by moment and let that guide you home to your purpose. Thank you. Take care and namaste.